podcast at energeticcity.ca. Welcome to This Week in the Peace, a show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace region. Here's your hosts, Dub Craig and Steve Berard.
Welcome to This Week in the Peace. Later in the show, we'll be talking all about the return of Moose FM's annual block party.
That's right. But first, the Canadian government's rural community immigration pilot offers permanent residence to skilled workers who want to work and settle in rural and more remote communities. Northeast BC happens to be one of the homes to this pilot. So to talk a bit about what it is and what it means for you, we're joined now by Moira Green, the Executive Director of Community Futures Peace Liard, which is one of the organizations that's partnering in the delivery of the program. Moira, welcome to This Week in the Peace.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us today. Let's talk about it. I think I gave most of it away in the intro, but what is the Rural Community Immigration Pilot, at least in terms of how it looks in Northeast BC, maybe?
The Rural Community Immigration Pilot is a employer-based pilot program which is intended to encourage the retention of skilled labor into rural and remote communities. And so it's an opportunity for employers to get a recommendation for their staff to aid in the permanent residency process.
I see. Was this something that the government rolled out and then you got involved, or had there been conversations before, we'd like to do this, how can you help us in delivering this? And by you, I mean kind of Community Futures and
So this project, the Northeast BC Immigration Project, is a partnership between Northern Lights College and Community Futures Peace Liard. The project area is the whole of the Peace Liard, so the North Peace, the South Peace, and all of the Northern Rockies regional municipalities. So an enormous area.
Yeah.
The Rural Communities Immigration Pilot is the second iteration of a pilot of this type. The first one was candidate-based.
I see.
And pardon me, there were 2 projects in British Columbia. This project, there are 15 projects nationally, 3 of which are in British Columbia.
I see, okay. And when you say candidate-based, you mean candidates were looking for a job and when they got one, or they as part of this, rather than kind of taking it from the employer's side, which is what this one is all about, right?
Yeah, so the first one was candidate-based, exactly. So the candidates themselves were accepted into the program and proceeded from there. This one is employer-based. So first the employer applies to the program. They get designated. I need to circle back on that in a minute. They
Sure.
get designated, and then they offer a candidate from their own organization into the program for recommendation.
See, okay.
So if I can circle back.
Absolutely.
So the project is 5 years long. Each year, the steering committee of the project needs to set up 2 things: a set of 5 sector codes, which is the allowable businesses in the project, and then 25 occupation codes, which are the 25 roles that we're looking for in that specific year.
I see. Now, when you say roles, is it a specific like job title, or is it kind of like more of is it a little bit broader than that?
It's a little bit broader than that, but not much.
Okay.
So for instance, if you are in Sector 6, that's hospitality. Then the next number is the level of education that's required. Number 5 is pretty much none. Number 1 is you need a university education. So a 6 would be hospitality, a 1 would be a university education, and then the next 3 numbers are what the job is.
I see. Okay. So that could be nursing or, whatever it happens to be.
Yes.
Okay. My next question would be if you could speak to how Northeast BC was identified as an area where this pilot would be a good place to have a pilot, a good place to be recruiting and sort of attracting workers to come here and work to, I suppose, fulfill the pilot's kind of requirements.
So I can't speak to how the Government of Canada chose us from the other applicants. I know that there were significant numbers of applications all the way across northern BC, including the Pacific Rim.
Okay.
Right? Pardon me. I do know that our chronic recruitment and retention issues in the Northeast are something that we've been talking about since the 90s. And that may be one of the key decision factors
I see.
for Canada, yeah.
So really, this, at the end of the day, the incentive, I suppose, for skilled immigrant workers is the permanent residence, right? You do this, you get that kind of, it's sort of a trade-off, I suppose, eh? Maybe I'm characterizing it incorrectly.
I think that you're characterizing it incorrectly. So in order to apply for permanent residency, there's a laundry list of things that you have to be able to prove, accomplish, demonstrate, and to be able to do that, that person needs to have made a significant commitment to their career, their profession, the community that they're moving to, their education. Like there's a language requirement. So most of the people that you're talking to who are applying for permanent residency don't speak one language, they speak 3 or 5. So there's a lot of commitment on behalf of the person who's applying.
Okay. So then I guess my next question would be, what then is sort of the incentive for everyone involved? I know it fulfills jobs that need to be filled by that the employers are looking for, but in terms of the people applying for the program to get the jobs themselves, what's kind of the big incentive for them to do this, to then say, well, rather than going somewhere else in Canada, why not come to Northeast BC?
So the whole point of the program is to move the bulk of the people who are coming to Canada out of urban areas and into rural and remote communities where they're needed.
Gotcha. Okay.
So being able to provide a recommendation to the permanent residency process is an incentive for people to come to and stay in rural and remote communities. And I just want to make it clear, because when you introduced us, this program does not guarantee permanent residency.
Okay, I see.
All this program does is expedite that application through the process. So the permanent residency process does not change in terms of what Canada is going to ask.
I see. But as you say, expedition would be, I would suppose, something that would be good, because then it doesn't take as long because you're coming here.
And because Canada has drastically cut the number of permanent residency applications they're prepared to entertain, yes.
I see. Okay. I know we talked about it quickly, but I just want to go over it again. In terms of the employer, then, as you say, really the incentive and the good thing for them is filling these jobs that have been chronically, open forever, as you say, since the 90s. Hey? The kind of the main reason I wanted to have you here and have someone comment on this, because we've been seeing, I hate saying this, but Facebook comments about what the program means, and I think some misinformation about what it's actually kind of accomplishing and what it's doing. Because of course you hear about this guy who, I've been looking for a job for 6 months or a year and I can't find one, but there's jobs available for, as you say, immigrants to come here from perhaps urban centers and fill these jobs instead. What do you say to that person and or to a suggestion like that about what this program's really about and what it's accomplishing?
Okay, so lots of things. So the first thing is that most of the people, certainly in the first year of this program, are already here.
Yeah.
They've been here for years. These are people who you've seen in local businesses in Fort Nelson and Fort St. John and Dawson Creek for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years.
They're already
members.
here.
So they are already living here. They're already working here. They're already committing and contributing to community. So that's part one. The second part is I have seen and heard all the same accusations that you're talking about. I would like to know who can't get a job. What job are they applying for?
Sure.
What are their skill sets? What does their resume look like? Do they have restrictions on their availability to the employer? Right? Those are all reasons why you don't get a second interview. So is it you, or is it temporary foreign workers.
Yeah. And I mean, as you said earlier, I mean, it's not like it's all jobs that are available in this program. There's certain ones that are, and they've been identified ahead of time, right? So
Right. And most of these people are already working and have been working in these businesses for years. So was it today that you weren't able to get the job that you were looking for? Or
Yeah.
was it 4 years ago?
yeah. Okay. You mentioned that this is I think a 5-year program, you said, kind of in total. I know there's kind of on the website, Northeast Immigration BC, that has kind of a list of things that have happened already. I was just curious kind of what kind of the next step is in the pilot and kind of where we are and where we go forward in the process of the pilot, I suppose, on rolling out, if we want to put it that way.
So we received notice right at the end of 2024, like the 17th of December, that we had been a successful applicant. So the next was we took the working group committee that we had regionally talking about recruitment and retention of skilled workers, and we turned that into the steering committee for the project. That committee has been meeting every 2 weeks since the beginning of January to work our way through standing up the project. We have been looking for funding because the project doesn't come with any funding.
Okay.
So it is a zero funded program. We have to find that ourselves, which has been an exciting ride.
How nice of them.
Very kind. I know.
Do this, but we're not going to pay you to do it.
Exactly.
Anyway.
We have hired a project coordinator who is an exceptional person, exceptionally skilled. We have issued the call for designated employers. We received 203 applications for designated employers.
Wow.
And we think we have 167 today who are actually designated. So,
Okay.
So the employer applies, we go through their documentation, we look for any issues, WorkSafe, BC labor standards, any of that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Right? And designate them. They have to fit into the 5 sectors. So then those employers get to submit a candidate. Now, the caveat is that this year we received 60 recommendations from Canada. We are hoping that subsequent years will be significantly more, because that's a very low number. So we have requested that each employer only submit 1 candidate.
I see. Okay.
And so as of last count, we were at 159 candidates in the hopper. So we're assuming that those last few designated employers are going to submit.
I see. Okay.
So the first part of the process was set ourselves up. The second part was invite employers to apply. We vetted all the employers. We designated them. We filed that information with the Government of Canada. Then we opened the portal and started to accept candidate applications. We capped the amount of candidate applications we can take because of just ability to meet demand.
Yeah.
And now we are working through the vetting of each of those candidate applications. So there's a great long laundry list that comes from the Government of Canada that says thou shalt have all these things in your application.
Sure.
So we're doing that. Then those applications go to a selection committee, which is composed of members of the steering committee.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's important to note that the steering committee decided that they would not vote on any candidates who reside in the community that they represent. So
I see. Okay.
exactly.
So it kind of eliminates them being biased towards Fort St. John or on the committee voting on a candidate from Fort St. John.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That's exactly what that's for. So the next step is for the project coordinator and myself to set up a series of selection committee meetings and start to roll out these applications for their review and decision.
I see. Okay. And out of curiosity, timeline for that kind of getting to the next phase where I suppose you've picked all the candidates. Are we talking weeks, months into next year?
I am hoping we're talking weeks.
Yeah.
I would like to see the candidate process complete by the 1st of October, 15th of October, because this is a calendar year project.
Yeah.
January 1 to December 31st. So for us to be ready for the 2026 calendar year, we need to circle all the way back to the beginning. We need to review the sector codes. We need to review the occupation codes. We need to reissue that information to Canada for approval. And then we need to reissue that information to the communities that we're serving. And then we need to redesignate employers who either don't fit next year or didn't get in this year because they didn't fit this year, and then we start the whole process again.
Gotcha. So this is the year 1 of 5. You'll be doing this kind of every year.
Yes.
As you say, what can happen in terms of the sector codes, which employers meet those kind of parameters, that'll change year to year, or likely will change year to year.
Yes. Yeah. We're assuming that it's going to change. We're also assuming that the requirement for the candidate is going to increase in skill requirement year over year.
Yeah.
So the first and maybe the second year, there will be kind of a backlog of people who are already here who we need to make sure can stay. And then, we'll move up the tiers, presumably to greater and greater levels of skill.
Gotcha. All right. Well, a lot to chew on there, Moira. If somebody has more questions or wants to just learn more about the program, your website, I think, was pretty good and had lots of links to kind of what the government of Canada. Can you tell us about that?
nebimmigration.ca.
Yeah.
So some of the questions that I've heard and that I think should be answered are, one of them was the government of Canada is paying employers to hire these people. That's not true. I believe that those people have confused the refugee program with the temporary foreign worker program. Yes, the government of Canada accepts refugees from bad places all over the planet. And yes, they do provide support for those people. No, they do not provide support for employers who have hired temporary foreign workers. Okay. One of the other things I think that needs to be mentioned is that all of us visit franchises every day, whether you know their franchises or whether you don't. Like, we go to Tim Hortons, we go to Starbucks, we go to Walkbox, we go, right? All of those franchise owners have performance agreements with the parent company, and those performance agreements are predicated on having staff that can work the hours that business has to be open. And in some cases, the franchise agreement also contains a penalty. So if you are unable to meet your hours of operation, the parent company will penalize you. So it's important to these business owners that they have the kind of staff that can work those hours.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Moira, I really appreciate you coming by and clearing the air a bit on this. It's hopefully dispelling some of that misinformation. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks very much for asking. It's nice to be able to straighten out some of the misconceptions.
Absolutely. Moira Green, the Executive Director of Community Futures Peace Liard. We'll be right back with more to talk about the Moose FM Block Party right after this on This Week in the Peace.
Looking for local summer fun? Head to Centennial Park on Thursday nights for Music in the Park, Fort St. John's free summer concert series at Centennial Park Stage. Bring a blanket or camp chairs and enjoy live tunes by talented local and visiting artists. It's family friendly, full of good vibes, and the perfect way to enjoy our northern summer evenings. Pack a picnic, cool off at the Rotary Spray Park, and soak in the sounds of summer. For the full lineup, visit fortstjohn.ca/community-calendar.
For the construction, installation, and maintenance of pipelines and facilities, trust the team at Can-Do Oilfield Services. Can-Do is privately owned and operated and has proudly served the oil and gas industry for over 30 years with an absolute commitment to safety, quality, integrity, innovation, customer satisfaction, and local Aboriginal involvement. If you want your next project executed with the same high standards you expect, then look no further than Can-Do Oilfield Services. Visit CanDoOilfield.ca.
We owe you a big thank you. Hi, I'm Tyler Holt, owner of Collison Holt Law Corporation in Fort St. John. We would just like to thank you for making us the 2025 North Peace People's Choice Award winners for Best Law Firm. We are incredibly honored by this recognition, and we appreciate everyone who has supported and continues to support our law firm. Collison Holt Law Corporation in Fort St. John, proud to be named Best Law Firm in the 2025 North Peace People's Choice Awards.
Are you ready to rise? The 2025 Spark Women's Leadership Conference, Rise Next Level Strategies for Success, is happening on October 8th and 9th, and registration is now open. Join us in person or via live stream for 2 days of powerful insights, inspiring speakers, and career-changing opportunities. Don't miss your chance to connect, grow, and rise to your next level of success. Secure your spot today at sharingthespark.com before registration closes on October 7th.
It's almost time to head back to class.
You're kidding.
But first, a trip to Grand Prairie for all your back-to-school essentials. Shop, then stay at the centrally located Sandman Hotel with recently renovated rooms. On now through the Labor Day weekend, ask for our back-to-school special, offering the best rates plus a $50 gift certificate to downtown businesses while supplies last. Limit of 1 gift card per visit. To book, go to sandmanhotels.com.
The Sandman Hotel is supported by the Grand Prairie Destination Marketing Fund.
At Fort St. John Co-op, they understand the importance of high-quality fuel and lubricants for your vehicles and machinery. That's why they offer a wide range of premium products designed to meet your needs. Fort St. John Co-op's premium lubricants provide superior protection against wear and tear, extending the lifespan of your equipment. Fort St. John Co-op even keeps our environment in mind with a waste oil collection facility at all Cardlock locations. Fort St. John Co-op, you're at home here.
Moose Country weather.
Today, mainly cloudy sky with a 40% chance of showers closer to the Rockies. Wind southeast 30 gusting to 50 this morning and a high of 20. Cloudy tonight with some showers beginning this evening. 5 to 10 millimeters expected all told. We'll see a low of 10 and wind overnight. Mainly cloudy tomorrow, 60% chance of showers with risk of a thunderstorm starting late in the morning. We'll see a high of 19 and a mix of sun and cloud for Sunday. It'll be windy and a high of 18.
You can watch this show live on Facebook, catch the replays at energeticcity.ca, or be part of the show by texting your thoughts to the Fort City Chrysler line at 250-787-2222.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Steve Berard. Moose FM's annual block party is just a few weeks away now. The event is coming up right after the start of September, and the schedule for it was released earlier this week. To go over it with us and walk through everything you need to know for the block party, we've got one of its organizers, Lisa Behrens, on the show. Lisa, thank you so much for making some time to come on today.
No worries there, Steve.
So, for people who maybe haven't been to one, are new to the community, something like that, can you tell me a little bit about what the block party is?
What the block party? It's a festivity of events that we put on every year. It's basically was brought up as a celebration of our birthday.
Okay.
And this year, I'm so happy to have it back on the street because for about 5 years, we've been down at Centennial Park.
Can you tell me a little bit about why we had to move to Centennial Park and why we're back on the street now?
Well, the reason we moved to Centennial Park was based on the constructions on 100th that they did in those 5 years, I think it was.
Right, okay.
So it was just natural for us to move down there. They had the stage, and it worked really well. But my first couple of years working here, we had it on the street. And it's called the Block Party, so it needs to go back to the street. So I'm excited. Adam and Chris, not so much. But I am very excited. And a lot of the people who are attending and participating are very excited to be back on the street as well.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. So let's go over some of the hard details really quickly. When is it happening? Where on the street is it happening? Are there ticket prices, anything like that?
Okay, so it's on September the 6th from 11 till 3. And we will be on 100th from 100th Street, or pardon me, 100th Ave to 103rd Ave.
Okay.
So that whole area is going to get blocked off. Quite a few of us will be here at 5 o'clock in the morning doing that with the help of energetic traffic control. And then we start building. We're going to have 2 stages, one at each end of what we've had blocked off. And we're going to just start having people come, put their tents up, and take over.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. Can you tell me a bit about some of the, you mentioned businesses, organizations that are going to be participating in Block Party. Can you tell me about a few of them?
Well, there's a lot.
Okay.
Very successful. I had to write it down because there's too many for me to remember.
Okay.
We have, of course, we have the main stage, which is Burger King.
Okay.
The presenting is Remax and, of course, Moose Media. We have, so the main stage is going to be down by 100th Ave.
Okay.
Then we're going to have the secondary stage up near 103rd, and that is sponsored by the city.
Okay.
Then we're going to have entertainment, but so the Circus Soleil. So we're going to have one act that's doing 3 different acts.
Okay.
And then we're also going to have a stilt walker walking throughout the event.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And then that's been sponsored by Jordan Keeley.
Okay.
And then we're having an arts market, which I'm very excited because I think it's the biggest arts market we've had. We have about 24 people participating. Wow. Yes. And then I have about 8 nonprofits.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. We're going to have the the kids zone, which is going to be in the green space near 100th Ave. And that is looked after by Arc-Tech Welding. We have food vendors. Triton Tools Services is looking after that.
Okay.
The party pack, which is where we're giving away cupcakes and so forth at our tent, that's been sponsored by the Fort St. John Co-op.
Okay, awesome.
And then I have a whole list of supporting sponsors. We've
For
got
sure.
Renco, Work BC, United Safety Limited, All West Glass, Fort St. John Return It, Grimes Well Servicing Limited, Stimulant Energy Services Incorporated, Oventive Events Center, Northern Lights College, Pomeroy Hotel Group, and then of course we have Sound in Town and Sister Rental Stores who are helping us with our stage, sound, and tents.
Okay, awesome. You mentioned, of course, we have 2 stages, the one by 100th Avenue and the one by 103rd Avenue.
Yes.
You mentioned that there's going to be that circus performer on the stage near 100th Avenue. Can you tell me a bit about what's going to be on the other stage?
Yes, that's where we're going to have our 2 local bands playing. We're going to have Locust and Honey is going to be our first band that will play,
Okay.
and then we're going to have Blackbird finishing off later in the day. But also on that stage, we have the city putting on their community awards as well.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. So those are, can you walk me through, just tell me a bit about that for people who haven't heard of it?
For the community awards?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's where they have the city nominates or gets businesses and well-known individuals, and they just celebrate what they have done with the community.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. One of the other things I wanted to ask about, is this going to be a free event for people to come partake in? Or
Yes.
There's no tickets at the door?
No tickets.
Okay, awesome, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about one of the other things that I was curious about. Tell me sort of what the organization process for this has looked like. Now that we're moving back to being on the street this year, has it been any more difficult, or has it been easier to get sponsors and businesses to take part, would you say?
Good question. There's been some trying times.
Okay.
There's a lot more moving parts.
For sure.
Because there's certain things that we had to put in place to get the city to approve us. We have to have certain, like traffic control.
Right.
Previous years, we were able to close off the streets, but now we have to get energetic traffic control to do that,
Okay.
which is a big help. And then it's just making the pieces the next couple of weeks. It's building what it looks like on the street.
Yeah, for sure.
And just making sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, totally. Talking a bit about traffic control, I know you mentioned there are going to be people out there building as early as 5 in the morning. When does that little stretch of 100th Street actually close, and for how long, do you know?
So I think it's about 5 o'clock that we're starting, that they're closing it down, and
Okay.
it probably won't be opened again until basically 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think I've gone over everything on my list. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over or add while we still have you here?
I just want to invite everyone to come with their family, friends. I want the local businesses along the stretch of the streets just to open up their doors and welcome the community and just have fun.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. If anyone wants to go online and learn more about the block party, where can they go for that?
They can go to moosefm.ca/block party.
Okay, perfect. Is there also information on our social media?
We are putting stuff out periodically. You can find things like there, but everything is totally on the page that we have for Block Party.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. That was Lisa Behrens for the Moose FM Block Party, September 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, go to moosefm.ca/block party. Our thanks to Moira Green for joining us earlier on This Week in the Piece, and thank you for tuning in.
You can listen to the show again by checking out the podcast at energeticcity.ca/podcast. Lots of previous episodes there for you to check out, as well as episodes of our other locally produced podcasts before the piece. That's our show. I'm Dub Craig.
And I'm Steve Berard. Be well.
Join us again next Friday morning at 10 for another edition of This Week in the Peace, your weekly talk show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace Region. Or you can listen to this podcast